is oxygen polishing results. For results, you want to see something. You've already seen the fish behind me, and you're going to see it throughout this video. That's really showing the results, how they're doing, the colors, how they show up in the aquarium. It's just what you want to see, the results. So let's get to the results. Let me show you some things. I got some questions I got to answer for my viewers, because they're taking time to comment. I want to take care of the few people that comment. I'm getting more and more people to comment. Please do if you want to. Now, hey, if you want to be rude, I just delete them. You'll never see them. For the rest of you, I do get a few bad comments. I just boom, delete them. So just leave your comments. I'll get with you on them. I'll answer your questions if I can. I'm not an expert, but we're going to show you what my take is on this particular aquarium and the oxygen polishing. So let's check it out. Alright, so I'm giving you a pretty good close-up view, and I'll zoom in a little bit more in a minute or two. We're looking at the colors, the activity of the fish. They're just really going to it. They're going at it. There's more activity going on, lots of coloration. The water's looking really good. By this time, normally in the past, the water was already starting to get more, a tint to it because of all the waste. This is a very overcrowded aquarium. But the oxygen polishing and some of the things I've changed in this aquarium have really dramatically improved the condition of this aquarium and just the overall health and vitality of these fish. So let's just look a little bit more in here so you can see the bubbles. Get a closer up view. You can see the micro bubbles in here, and there's a lot of ways you can get micro bubbles in here. Now, if you think I was just a genius that did this, I'm glad you do. I appreciate that. But this setup actually kind of happened by accident. And then I remember some things from the past, some products that they sold at fish stores about oxygen polishing, and we're talking about 20 years ago, and so it's working out good. What happened was I set up a new pump in this aquarium, and I have some sponge filters behind the Matten filter, and the oxygen got into the pump and it produced micro bubbles. Well, micro bubbles is the best way to get gas products, oxygen, CO2, whatever. The smaller the bubble, the more easier it is to dissolve that gas into your aquarium. So micro bubbles is actually giving you more oxygen into your aquarium than really any other method. So I got it going in here. I thought, do I want to change it? You know, a lot of people don't like micro bubbles, but I looked at it, I thought, yes I do. And then I remembered, hey, there was actually products that you use to polish your aquarium through a tablet a tablet. You put it in your aquarium. When it dissolved, it produced micro bubbles. And the reason it's polishing your aquarium is because oxygen helps break down organic matter. It's just, if you want to seal something up, that's why everything's sealed when you buy it at the grocery store, because when oxygen hits it, it starts to break down. So that's why everything's sealed. Your frozen food's sealed. You have things in cans. You don't just leave it out. That's why produce decays over time, is because of the oxygen. So the oxygen is helping you break down the organic matter, and that is the waste products that these fish are producing. So the more oxygen you have in here, the healthier they're going to be. So there's limited oxygen in an aquarium, so the more you get in there, the more your fish are going to be able to be healthy, and the more bacteria, the beneficial bacteria, the nitrifying bacteria, is going to be in your aquarium to break down the organic material as quick as possible. So let's take a side shot real quick. So actually all these fish are really hungry, so you can't really see across from all the way through the aquarium, but you can see it pretty good at times. So just be looking there, look at it now, and I'm going to actually turn off the pump so the micro bubbles won't be flowing all the way across the aquarium, and you can see across the aquarium better to see the clarity better. So let's take a moment to do that. Alright, so I got the filter stopped. Most of the micro bubbles are out of the water. Still a little bit of them left in there. So it's not the best looking side shot, but hey, by this time, by several days later after having a water change with this many fish in it, you can already start to see, you know, a dirtying of the water. But this time, with the polishing, oxygen polishing method, it's actually improved. It's actually improved. So I think over time it's going to look better and better because your bacteria is starting to build up, and that's actually a good thing because it breaks down your waste. There's going to be more and more beneficial bacteria in your aquarium. So let's talk about a little bit about my setup, because I had a viewer who wanted to see that, they wanted to see the filtration method. I don't want to convince everybody that, hey, this is the way to do your aquarium. I just want to show what I'm doing myself because a viewer asked and some of you interested. So before I do that, I want to take a moment just to show you the front of the aquarium so you can get a good view without the filter, the actual filter and the micro bubbles going. Alright, now you can see the water a lot better from this view. It's looking really crystal clear. I mean, if you make videos, you want to have your water looking the best, just turn off your filter for a moment and film it, because hey, it's part of life that, you know, these guys are going to go to the, you know, basically you eliminate waste almost constantly, and it's going to be flowing around. So if you turn off your filter for just a moment, you can see how clear the water is right now. So the fish are looking good. I mean, the coloration just astounding. The activity of the fish are doing great. I think it's improved a lot, and I think it will continue to improve as the beneficial bacteria builds up. So let's take a moment to look at the filtration system and how this accident happened about the oxygen polishing. Alright, so you're seeing my filter. Basically, I use Matten filtration. Short, you know, to keep it a short story, I use Matten filtration because I had too many canister filter problems where they were leaking out in the floor. I have a lot of aquariums. I'm not always at home, of course, like most of you, and I had too many canisters over time for some other reason. There was accidents, there was floods. I got tired of it. I also got tired of lugging the filters. All of them, I have like 16 aquariums set up, lugging them around and cleaning them out. Matten filtration works good for me. It's not the, you know, doesn't get it the best as far as your clarity, but as far as biological, I'm very happy with it. Overall, I'm never going to change the type of filtration I use. It's Matten filtration. So I actually have a new pump that I put on here, and that's the one that's putting out the micro bubbles. Total, I have over 1,000 gallons per hour flow. In behind the Matten filter, I've got something that I didn't know would work really good, but I tried it out. I wanted more oxygen. I thought, I've got sponge filters, so I actually have 2 sponge filters in behind the Matten filtration. This is at an angle here across the corner of the aquarium, and back behind here there's 2 sponge filters, and one of them is putting bubbles into the pump and making the micro bubbles that you see coming out. That's producing the micro bubbles you see right there. So not only do I have 2 sponge filters in there, I have parts of sponge filters in there because people mention, hey, you could put other basically filter media behind a Matten filter, but I wanted something easy. I can't have something complicated when I have so many aquariums. So I had some sponges, put some sponges in there. I'm going to add more of them to them. That gives an area to build up more nitrifying bacteria, which is great for your aquarium. So that's what I got going. I also, let me show you real quick that I have babies and my sponge filter. So let me show you one real quick that you can see from this angle. Alright, the baby dropped down below the thermometer here, the old one here. It's right down here. Basically, I have two Matten filters here, two Matten filter foams, and behind it, like I say, I have the sponge filters and also some extra sponges. Now, what was cool about the Matten filters, which I've had the same thing, let me show you this fish real quick. The same thing happened in multiple setups, and that is babies came out, were released by some females, and since they're small, they were able to worm their way around the Matten filter and get back there to live out. They're and grow. And so I've actually saved some different kinds of cichlids that way, or otherwise they would be eaten. So the Matten filter also helps a place to have some babies be saved if you just want them to be naturally released and not do any other methods. So basically, to sum it up, I really am impressed with the water polishing ability of the oxygen. I'm doing some other methods in here to improve oxygen, like I actually leave the lights on this aquarium on 24 hours a day, which improves oxygen as well, and allows algae to build up and to break down the waste in the water. It's just really an ongoing project to improve the water quality of my aquarium. If you look at these fish, they're doing really good. The coloration is just awesome. I'm very impressed. If you do a oxygen water polishing method, you don't have to do it like me. There's many ways to do it. Micro bubbles are the best because they can dissolve into the water better, and they'll produce more oxygen, which, like I say, increases your beneficial bacteria growth. It helps your aquarium just be better. So thanks again for watching the water polishing results.